And launching on December 7th, we have Call of Kilforth, and this plays 1 to 4 players and takes about 45 to 180 minutes to play. And this is a cooperative game, but it's also the third in a series. The first one was Gloom of Kilforth with a rating of 7.6, and then we had Shadows of Kilforth that has a really nice 8.0. And I imagine that this one's going to have a similar rating to those because all three of these games do play fairly similar to each other, but they each bring something a little different to the table. And the way that this game works is that at the start of the game, you're going to be setting up a grid of cards in the center of the player area, and this is going to represent the world that you're going to be moving through. And each player is going to be choosing a class and a race, and you're going to be putting those two cards together to create your character. Then there's also going to be a deck of saga cards that players are going to be trying to play through in order to try and win the game. Each saga card is going to have a few different objectives that players are trying to achieve, and there's going to be different actions that you need to perform and different keywords that you're trying to collect as you move through the different locations and try to encounter different creatures or people that have those different keywords. And as you can see, there's quite a lot of cards put out on the table here, and the reason for that is that each location card is going to have a sort of terrain type, and that's going to be associated with one of these decks of cards. So whenever you move to one of those locations, you're going to be drawing a card from the associated deck. And depending on what you find there, you can choose to take a few different actions. You can either try to fight it, or you could try to influence it depending on what your skills are, or alternatively, you could try to sneak away. Each round does have a night phase that's going to make some of the locations a little bit more difficult, but you'll also be discovering different upgrades and allies that will help you throughout the game. As players progress through the saga cards and get closer and closer to the end, there is going to be a final encounter where you're going to be fighting a final boss for an epic finale. The game looks fantastic, and there's going to be quite a lot of variability because this board is randomly generated as well as the different cards that you're going to encounter, and there's a ton of different classes and races that players can choose from. So every game will play quite a bit differently from the last, and this is a system that's been tried and true and people seem to really like. So if this seems like a game that you might be interested in, there's a ton of content out there already, and I think you can have a lot of confidence in this back. And since I'm doing these videos ahead of time, I don't have links to all these campaigns right now, but for the ones that I'm missing, I do have links to their website, and you'll definitely find a subscription option on their website that will notify you as soon as their campaign launches or as soon as they set up that campaign page and share it with the public.